welcome back to the Quilting Corner. As you can see outside, it is morning again, the sun's coming up, it's gonna be a good day. And well, we didn't have any subscriber spotlights this week. No one submitted anything. So if you want to be in the next episode with some heirloom you have, or some favorite, something you've made, or something that's been gifted to you, whatever the case may be, if you want others to see it and enjoy it as much as you do, then send us your information via email, text, Facebook message, however you need to get it to us, and we'll put you in next week's episode. But for right now, we don't have one. So we had, let's see, I think 2 the first time, we had 3 last time. So I probably should have spaced those out a little bit more, but everybody was so excited to see their stuff, their items on the video and to show others their items. So I didn't want to make them wait. So this time I'm going to be the subscriber spotlight, and I want to show you some things that we've got here in our sewing room, in our house, and heirlooms that we have. And I hope you enjoy them as much as we do. The first thing I want to show you is not really a quilt, but it's in my sewing room, so that counts, right? Yeah, it's going to today, but let me show it to you. This is the table that sits beside me here in our quilting corner. And for one, I just love those flowers. There's some little things to think about each day, which I love. A nice candle, and my favorite, I love this church. The guy that makes these churches makes them all different. So you're not going to see this exact church again, which is another reason I love it. We've got it on a timer, and it's just about, sun's coming up. It's just about time for this timer to go off. So I wanted to show it to you before it did. Look how pretty. Let me see if I can get a better side view. I love it. And the man that makes these is near us, and I just love them. For one, I like helping someone that's making their own things and trying to sell them, and 2, it's just gorgeous. So anyway, now we're going to move on to the quilts. First, I'm going to show you my cabinet. This used to be a china cabinet. We have since changed it into, well, sort of a candy cabinet. Can you tell my addiction? But anyway, it's a sewing cabinet now. And I've got some old, there's some pictures of the kids, ignore me in the window there, when they were little. There's some old patterns and my grandmother's thread display, some old spools, a picture of my grandmother with the kids, some more patterns, my grandmother's tea set, a bunch of different things in this cabinet. And it pretty much changes about weekly. I add something different to it. But these are some quilts I'm going to get out, and I want to show them to you. These are all old quilts with the exception of that top one. One of my daughters is an old soul, and this top quilt here is the one that she asked me to make for her, and she wanted it to look old school, so that's what that is. But let's get them out and look at them. Okay, I've got the quilts out, and I'll show them to you. This one is the one that my daughter requested, and it's all old prints, and it's been washed numerous times. She is a definite quilt lover. She's the one that doesn't make them, but she loves using them and displaying them, which I appreciate. Let's see, here's another one. This one was gifted to me, and it's old school, but it's done different. It looks like it might be a sheet or just a piece of fabric on the back. I'm not really sure on that, but there's no batting in it whatsoever. And there's no quilting. So it's just a quilt top with a piece on the back stitched around the corners. So there's that one. It's a smaller, like a lap size. Then we've got, let's see, this one, which I was trying to be careful with to show you. This one was made by my husband's grandmother. And the one thing I wanted to talk to you today about is labeling. This one didn't have a label. Back in the day, they didn't make labels that I know of. Y'all may know different, I don't know, but the quilts I've seen and known about didn't have labels on them. Well, to preserve the information about the quilt, I like labels. So I've made a label for that one, and I'm gonna sew that on. And this was made by Louise Heisler Smith, which is Jimmy Smith's, which is my husband's grandmother, in the 1970s. So I'll put this on the back of that quilt I just showed you, and then everyone in the future will know this. Because when the generation ahead of me and my generation, when all of us are gone, no one's gonna know the story of this quilt. But if we put this label on this quilt, everyone will know where it came from, and they can look back and see who this was, find out information about it, know the time period. So labels are very important to me. Then we've got this quilt. This one is beautiful. I love it, love it, love it. It's a string quilt. And if you go back and you look at our old videos, you'll see we've done a string quilt, but you'll see just how beautiful they are. This one has been washed, you can tell, and it's got the look of the old school, and I just love it. I've got a lot of favorites, but this is one of them. So now we've gone through this cabinet. We've got one more cabinet to go through. So let's get going. The other cabinet had some other quilts in it. This is one, and this you'll recognize as a 9-patch. If you don't know, this is a 9-patch. It's based of 3x3 squares, and that's what a 9-patch is. This one is beautiful as well. They're all pretty big in size, but you get an idea of what it looks like. And this one, I've got a label to add to it, was made by Amanda Sanderson, which is Linda Smith's, my mother-in-law's grandmother, and it was made in the 1950s. So I'm going to put this on the back of this quilt so that future generations will know where this quilt came from, who made it, and such about it. So that is that quilt. So I'll put that label on it here shortly. This quilt was made by my husband's grandmother. As far as I know, my family didn't quilt. I know my grandfather's sister did, but the other people in the family, there's not a quilter that I'm aware of. So a lot of these came from his family. That one was not a heirloom, so I'm just moving that one to the side. This one, and this shows you the importance of labels. This one is old. You can tell it's old. It's pretty, but we don't know who made it. We don't know where it came from, who made it, anything about it. So now I hope you understand the importance of labels, because while it's pretty and we cherish it, we love it, this one's tied instead of quilted on a machine like the other ones. But while it's pretty and we're glad we've got it, we're holding on to it, we're cherishing it, we don't know where it came from. We don't know who made it. We don't know the story behind it. We don't know the time period. So that's why I love labels. I cannot stress labels enough. So that's this one. And that's all of the quilts that are in this cabinet right now. But hopefully in the future we'll have some more added to it. As I fold these up, I'm putting these labels back in here so that I can make sure they're with the right quilt and preserved so that I can put those labels on them. And that concludes the quilts in these videos. But have no fear, you guys know me, you know there's more. One more thing I want to show you is my Curio Cabinet. I love this thing and I want to show you why. I'm gonna open it up. And here are some quilts. We've got more, but that's what's in here right now. None of them are old. They're ones I've made, but they're not like hand-me-down kind of quilts. And this is all sewing related stuff from different family members that I'm going through and labeling like whose it was. Like this right here, this was my grandmother's pin cushion. Can you see the pins in it? That was how they kept their buttons and such in the past. These are Bibles from family members. This was my grandmother's mirror. Some different things like that. Different things from family members. An old wooden spool. Needles, pins, things like that. That's how my mom kept her sewing stuff, which I'm gonna organize and put together. Here's my thimble collection of places we've gone. Me and my husband. My mom's glasses and watch. So it's family member stuff and then some extra added bonus stuff. So just a cute way to display all the generation of sewing stuff. I'm going to organize it, do it a little bit better, but that's a good beginning to it. This egg right here was made by a great aunt. So you'll see that, to me, this is a special cabinet. And over on the other side of the fireplace, my husband has one. He loves fishing and hunting, and his is all family related fishing and hunting gear from years gone by. So I hope that inspires somebody and hope they like it. One thing I wanted to show you today is this coating on top of this table. For the next week or so, we are using a dining room table as our sewing table as we are redoing the sewing room. But this table, with it being a dining room table, we don't want to mess that table up. So we've put this little coating on top of it. It's like a rubber coating. It comes in rolls, kind of like shelf paper for your bathroom drawers and stuff like that. But it comes in rolls. You can get it at Walmart. And I think Home Depot, Lowe's has it as well. I'm pretty sure on that. But I got mine at Walmart, and it has worked perfectly. While I have to have 3 different pieces on this table to make it the width of the table, it hasn't bothered anything yet. These layers, it doesn't bother anything. It's worked perfectly, has preserved the table. Now you can't cut on it, so that's why I've got my cutting mat here. And you can't iron on it, which is why I have my ironing station over there. But it does work to preserve the table. So if you're using a dining room table or a table that you don't want to be messed up with sharp scissors and stuff like that, then this is the way to go. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I've used it for several years and it's worked perfectly. So just an idea if you are working on a table like I am. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Quilting Corner. We showed you a lot. There was a lot to go through. If you want to be in next week's spotlight, send us your information. Send us your pictures, your information about what those pictures are, where they came from, who gave them to you, did you make them, did someone else make them, that kind of thing, because other people appreciate good heirloom quilting, good quilting projects. If you have a tip or a trick or something that you would like to show instead of a heirloom quilt or something, that's fine as well. Submit what you want me to show everyone else that might help someone else, or someone else might enjoy it as much as you do, and we'll try to get it in the next episode. And you can see it's already gotten light out today, so we are about to get the day really started. And that's all for today. So until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to vote for the best quilt shop in the state, which you all know who that is, right? So Charming Quilt Shop in Clanton, Alabama. It is lqscontest.com/vote. The information is in the description below. If you have any questions, need anything, want to be submitted for the next episode, be sure to get us that information so that other people can enjoy your items as well as you are. So until next time, happy quilting.